talk about, I'll be doing these every couple of weeks, just covering a topic. And this time I want to talk about the skincare junkie. And I know very well because I used to be one. I got started a long time ago, quite a while ago in skincare, and dove in at a really young age and just smeared every product I could ever get my hands on and used it and tried so many different things over the years. So um, there was a progression of my learning professionally and personally, just as a consumer of, over time, like, skincare routines can get really complicated. And I've been reminded of this recently because I've been doing a lot of virtual consults. And part of that is women and men are bringing out everything in their cupboards and showing me what they're using. And we're scrutinizing the ingredients. We're seeing if they're in alignment with the Skin Harmonics method. And I've been recently so reminded about how complicated skincare routines can be. I mean, it's like Saturday Night Live skit worthy, really. Multiple cleansers, multiple moisturizers, so many different products, eye creams, peptide creams. I mean, the list goes on and on. All the scrubs, all the masks, all the toners. And then, of course, the skincare industry tries to do this thing where every season we're supposed to change up everything because it's a different season. So, and which is something that I think is completely and absolutely unnecessary. So, this is just going to be a short. I'm trying to keep these between 10 and 20 minutes long, and I'm not going to field any questions down the line. I might, but for now, I just want to keep these kind of short and just cover a lot of information quickly. So, where to begin? Like I said, there's a sea of products, and it's so easy to just get discombobulated with all of them. And what I've done is I've streamlined something that creates an actual foundation for skin health, where you could be the three products that I came up with replaces about 10 or 20 products. And these things that my foundation of skincare that I've created, it's the fundamentals. It's hydration. It's something called dermal nourishment. That's something I can talk about more on another one of these. And something called barrier restoration. And that's the act of supporting our natural acid mantle of our skin and trapping the water in our skin and giving our skin that relaxation and that equanimity that it craves. And so the three products that I sell are a mist, a serum, and a moisturizer. And there really is no substitute for that foundation. There's a lot of bells and whistles when it comes to some skincare products. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, the little specialty creams and specialty serums and specialty products really don't work if your skin doesn't have a baseline of skin health. Like, there's no substitute for water, there's no substitute for food, and especially the topical dermal nutrients. And there's no product that would make a substitute for having true barrier restoration. So what I've done with my system is there's a lot of things. I've made a list. There's a lot of things that you just don't need in my system. And before you know it, when you're buying all these different products, you're kind of nickel and dimed to death. There's so many products that you're buying, and before you know it, um, and you don't often realize it, I've had people add up all the money that they're spending, and they're quite shocked at how much they're actually spending because it's in little increments. So you don't quite notice it. Um, but what I'll start out with is that on my system, one of the things that you won't need is gonna get maybe some some dislikes for this, but just normal spa facials. Um, those are normally once a month, and it's basically some type of exfoliation and a rehydration. Um, and that's something that you can do at home perfectly with the products that are in my skincare line and optimally. And so the thing that's so valuable when you get a session is extractions. Like we really need to support this native release function for our skin. And usually clinical deep real extractions aren't the thing in a normal monthly facial. So ordinary spa facials that are just about hydration and exfoliation, you won't need them anymore. Most of my clients end up seeing me about once a year once we've detoxed their skin. And the products 24/7 is keeping their skin super hydrated in a few monthly treatments. So that's the first thing that you don't need to be spending money on. Also, chemical peels or lasers. Like, this is my opinion. I know. I know I'll be outnumbered with this for now until people can catch up to this new way. But those procedures, in my opinion, are a complete net loss for the skin. And they're just not, you know, even if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't put my resources there. So that's money spent that, people are spending that is completely unnecessary. And also, clay masks are another thing that you're not gonna need on my system. I know that they've been popular for many years, and I myself used to do them, and so they're kind of fun in a certain way. But anything that dries on your skin, and especially a clay mask, is going to dehydrate our skin and take us in the wrong direction. So no clay masks and no drying masks are a part of my system. And that's money that we don't need to spend. And then the other thing that people are spending a lot of money on, and in my opinion, just fixating on inappropriately, is cleansers. People are very, very obsessed with cleansing their skin, cleansing it in the morning, cleansing it at night, cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. And the irony of this is that this cleansing is, in effect, ultimately drying out our skin. And when our skin gets dehydrated, it will get congested. And so I often tell a lot of my clients just for the first month, to not even use a cleanser: warm water, steam, optional washcloth, optional coconut oil in the shower at night only as a cleanser, while their skin recalibrates oil production and starts to rebuild its natural acid mantle. Um, People think that the cleansing is where it's all at, and that's what's going to keep our pores clear and prevent acne and congestion. And the truth is that the opposite is true. This very act of over cleansing is something that we're doing, that's sabotaging our skin and actually creating congestion. So, multiple cleansers and cleansing multiple times a day is like something that is not a place where we need to be putting resources. And um, I would also say, to add to that list, scrubbing, like all of the exfoliation products that are out there, microdermabrasion scrub pastes, Clarisonics, anything that's abrasive, and anything that has that. This is where there's a chemical peel and scrubbing crossover. Glycolic acid, salicylic acid, and lactic acid are all chemical exfoliants, and those can be in a peel, and they can also be in scrubs and often in cleansers. But any kind of scrub or scrubbing device is completely unnecessary. I would say that maybe once a month you could use a light Clarisonic, or possibly in some situations, a light exfoliant that's gritty, but only once a month. Most certainly not weekly, and most definitely not once a day, like a lot of people are doing. So all of the scrubbing devices, um, not necessary. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is eye creams. Like, people are spending a ton of money on eye creams, and I used to be one of them. And, you know, the products that I'm selling, the mist, the serum, and the moisturizer, They're used right over our lips and our eyes. And most of my clients, I would say about 90% of them, don't use an eye cream because those three products stacked correctly go beautifully over our eyes and lips, almost eliminating the need for chapstick and lip gloss too. I used to go through a lot of that. And now, I really don't. And the lip gloss can be fun for color, um, and but yeah, those are products that you really don't need. I mean, I do sell one from another company that's super gooey, an eye cream that if you're going to use an eye cream, it's a good one to use at night. But that's sort of like a cherry on top, basically. The mist, the serum, and the moisturizer that I sell does such a complete job of hydrating everything, including our eyes and our lips. And also, with these things that I'm mentioning, there's a mindset of scrubbing, 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 trauma, trauma, trauma. And that's the very thing that Skin Harmonics is the antidote for. It's about abstaining from those things and providing our skin with, like I started out with, the hydration, the dermal nourishment, which there is no substitute for food. That's the way that we can get our skin making new skin cells, and that barrier restoration. And there's only two ways to get our skin to make new skin cells. One is trauma, and the other is dermal nutrients. So it's kind of a no brainer for me, anyways, because with trauma, what happens is it shortens our skin's lifetime. Um, yes, we get a burst of new skin cells. However, the price we pay is quite a lot because over a long period of time, there's a decline and a diminishment of skin health rather than the opposite, which is what the dermal nutrients provide. There's this really incredible glow and texture and luster and vitality that is only available to skin that's resourced with food and water and protection. And of course, this fourth principle of allowing this natural release function of our skin to happen rather than this old mentality of keeping it suppressed, where it's supposed to just dry out and things are just supposed to like magically disappear. Like it's delusionary, really. So that's kind of the mindset that we're coming from with this old way, which I want to say I practiced for many years. And the upgrade is moving towards this Medi-Holistic resurfacing process where instead of those things, the things to move towards and consider after you've laid this foundation of using an origin set and having this foundation laid is that then we can mess with and experiment with dermal nutrient doses. So instead of leaning into scrubbing, we're going to lean into feeding our skin. And this is where often with skin, with everybody's different skin, we have to wiggle around and experiment a little bit and try a few things and increase and decrease a thermal nutrient dose. And this is really, really, really incredible because by increasing or doubling or tripling a normal dermal nutrient dose, even for a short period of time, we can really, really lift up hyperpigmentation. We can resurface acne very quickly, and we can just give that freshness and that vitality to our skin that way. And some skin needs less and some skin needs more. And so that's why we have to find that sweet spot, because we don't want to bore our skin and not give it enough. And we don't want to overstimulate and excite our skin and give it too much and just piss it off. Like we don't want to go that way. But everybody's appetite, their skin's appetite, yes, our skin is hungry, it has an appetite, is different. And so there's a little bit of adjustment within the first few months as it goes through different phases and different variables about finding that sweet spot and meeting it there so that we can track and resurface our skin forward in like the optimal way. So that's something to think about when you're on this system is I start most people on Fortify. That's in the middle road. And we can go up and we can go down. And that's why I have 3 serums. And we can also boost my highest serum with even more dermal nutrients, which gives us even more go power when we're really working with resurfacing. And something else that I think is really powerful is a microcurrent device. And this is something that lifts and tones our facial muscles. So instead of using a Botox to relax our muscles or to comatose them, we would actually be able to retrain them, if you will, smooth them out, lift and tone them. And this microcurrent device would be the only holistic way that we could add volume to our skin, because um, that's why injections are so popular, right? It's because it instantly adds volume. However, we just need to know that this isn't actually making our skin healthier, which is okay. I have clients that do it, and someday I might do it too. But it's just good to know so that we know what we're doing, and so we can, put things into our skin as skin health deposits and not always be making withdrawals from our skin health bank. But a microcurrent device is, it's been around for years. There's lots of different models on the market. It is the only holistic way to add volume, and it does it by lifting and toning the facial muscles. There really is no way to add enough collagen and elastin back in. We're born with it. We have to really protect it. And leads me into my next thing on the list. When you're on this natural methodology of mine, is instead of trying to inject it in a way that decreases skin health, we're going to step up our responsibility with protecting what we have, because ultimately it's just the sad fact. We're kind of born with what we have, and the UV damage over a lifetime and overexposure is the thing that diminishes it. It's just the sad facts. And so the more that we can do to protect it, the better off we are, because we really can't replace it. We can lift our muscles to regain some volume, but we really do need to step up our protection. And should probably do a whole talk just on sunscreens, but the short of it is that we have to repeat the application every 2 hours. When you use a natural sunscreen, or sunscreen just isn't effective. And I know I have a specialty product that I sell that blocks, for the most part, UV rays. So that's another way to go, but to really step up our responsibility there and protect what we have. So that's something that I work with and help people with, to just hold on to what we have, because this idea that we can just like go to the store and buy a product, or just inject our skin to get more volume, like, just really isn't sustainable, and it just doesn't ultimately deliver skin health, which is what we're after, by the way. um, and let's see, what else did I want to cover? Um, yeah, this other piece is somewhat of a complicated piece in a certain way, whereas we really do have to pull that internal ribbon of internal health. And it's a mystery, really. Everybody's so different. We have to figure out hormones. We have to figure out microbiome. We have to figure out how to work with our own genetics. And that's really important, because it's sort of like both worlds coming together. It's like, if we support our skin externally and we support it internally, then like that's where people see the most results. And that's just life, right? I mean, we're aging from the inside and we're aging from the outside. And so I would never argue that the internal or the external was more important. I would have to say all of the above, both, check both boxes, because they're equally important. And so there's also this important theme with Skin Harmonics of supporting women and myself, and as figuring out like what's going on and finding a functional skin medicine doctor to work with. Because like I said, once we can get the basics of these products in place and the basics of internal health, now we can go places. Because oftentimes people have a lot of internal issues, and you know, you can buy a million products, or you can just change your diet a little bit. So both of those pieces are really important to work with. So I made it through those lists. Let me check the time. Yeah, we're about there. I also just, what else can I say about this topic of, you know, we can buy a million products, and I have, and you have. And there comes a time where people are spending a lot of money and spinning their wheels at the same time. And it's just it's inefficient besides all these other things. Like, and it takes up a lot of room in your cabinets. And it's just sort of like piecemealing and buffeting all this stuff together with a lot of effort and a lot of money and a lot of time. And what's tragic is that you're still not getting anywhere. So sad. So that's part of the inspiration for the Skin Harmonics method is streamlining these basic things. I'm a minimalist all the way. I'm a luxurious type of minimalist where I want to pin down these fundamental things in like the most gorgeous, beautiful way and find the product that will exactly do that. And that's what I've done in my origin sets. And I just sell 2 more products and a couple other body butter products. So, I hope that's been helpful. A lot of times people don't really know that there's another way, and there really wasn't up until a few years ago. That's why I created my line is I synthesized so many different things and brought so many things. I made something very complicated, very simple, basically. So, pass this on to anybody that you know that's a skincare junkie and let them know that there is another way. The portal's been opened. Skin Harmonics is finally online. I launched my website less than a year ago. I've been in business for um, with skincare for over 20 years, quietly, nerdily, just doing my own thing. But I'm excited to be available now online. And I wrote a book last year. I want to encourage everybody to read that. I'm really excited about just getting the word out and letting people know that there really is another way. You don't necessarily have to conform to the conventional practice of skincare. And another way has been scouted, and there's been tremendous success with it. So you can email me any questions. You can find me on Facebook. And of course, you can find me on Instagram. And I hope to meet you guys in person soon. Please mention that you saw this, and I might have a coupon code for you. So, all right, that's all for now. And I will be announcing my next topic over the next couple of weeks, and we'll do it again. Bye now.